Hey folks, this is Mr. Michelson. As you can see, I'm not here today, but please do make sure we have a normal day. You're treating my sub with the utmost respect. Remember, that's what we're all about here at Southview: safety, learning, and respect. So we're going to do a lot of that here today with our ethical dilemmas, day 4. Before we get into that, remember that you have a book that's due next class. You should have read through that, and this is the work that you need to do to complete your reading of that book. Come with all this stuff next class so we can have a really good discussion. Then we're going to swap books. So that's what you need to be getting done by next class, which is Thursday. Also, some people didn't turn in their summatives for Tom Sawyer yet. I'm still looking for a few people's. I know we had some weird days in there with no school and everything, so maybe you forgot to do it or forgot to submit it or whatever. Let me know if you have questions on it. Feel free to email me. But let's get those turned in, and if you could add to the Flipgrid to share your work that you did and share your thoughts on that essential question, do that as soon as you can. So let's get into it. Last class, we learned a little bit about this issue. Should the government restrict content to remove violence from the media? We looked at that SIRS website that I posted on Schoology, and you took notes in a yellow packet on the yes side of that debate and the no side of that debate. Hopefully you've got both sides filled out today. I'm not here to check your packets, but I'm going to trust that most people have everything they need done, because today we are going to debate that in a very structured way. We call this a structured controversy, and I'll explain what that's all about in a second. As we get into this question, there's some underlying questions that I think you'll probably be touching on in your debates today. Is it the government's responsibility to regulate the movies, TV shows, music, and video games children are exposed to? How does the restriction of violent content in media affect the rights protected under the First Amendment? And then, are there alternatives to restricting content to protect children from violence in mass media? So there's lots of interesting kind of things I think you'll get into as you really discuss this question, this topic today. Yesterday's kids had a lot of good discussions on this. They thought it was a pretty good topic, so I'm hoping you'll find it to be interesting as well. We kind of chose this topic at random. Later on, once we've read more of our books, we'll get into another structured controversy on a different topic that's maybe more relevant to what you've been reading about in those books you've been reading. So a structured controversy is a chance to examine ideas. It's a chance to have a debate, but not a debate where we're screaming at each other and we're getting at each other's throats. It's going to be really structured, and that's the intent of it, so that you can listen and take things in, and that you can really, at the real baseline of this, understand the issue. That's why we're here, to really understand this issue. You're going to be arguing from both sides of this issue. That's why you've taken notes on both sides of this issue, and we'll show you how to do that right here. In just a minute, I'm going to give you a partner. I've assigned people partners. Hopefully everyone on my list is here. If anyone is kind of solo today because their partner's gone, please please make sure that we maybe change up groups a little bit so that we can even things out. But I think most people should be here today. You're going to get a partner. You'll have 10 minutes to study with that partner. I'm going to tell you if you're on the yes side or on the no side of this debate, and you'll be preparing that debate. If we haven't already got a green sheet, you'll get a green sheet in a second, and that's where you're going to record what side you're arguing first and what the arguments are going to be. You should have different arguments than your partner. This is just kind of an outline of what you want to say when you're given time to say it. We're going to have time then for individuals to present. So if I've got a partner and another person on one side of this debate, they're going to have 2 minutes per student to say what they need to say. Please use up that time as much as you can. We're not going to move on to the next step until that time is up. So we'll have about 8 minutes total. So in a group of 2 against 2, each person will get 2 minutes. That's a total of 8 minutes. Then we'll have a chance to challenge, to rebuttal. You'll be able to say, okay, we heard you say this, but actually our side would say this. Remember, we don't care what your opinion is right now. You're just working on arguing for one side or another. Once we've done that, you can see we're going to switch sides. If you were a yes, you're going to become a no. If you were a no, you're going to become a yes. You'll have more time to study with your partner to try to dig into this a little bit more and say things that you haven't already heard in this debate. Go back to that yellow packet and figure out what else you can say. You'll have time to present, and then we'll have some time to consensus build. Well, you'll talk about this, and then we can actually kind of think about, what do I really think about this issue now that I've really understood it and I've really argued both sides of it, and have some informed sort of choices in front of me. So hopefully that makes sense. I know I'm kind of rambling a little bit. The standard that we're going to be shooting for is right here. We're engaging effectively in a range of collaborative discussions. Your job is to stay on task today and do that and make this a great debate. So without further ado, here are your partners. So we've got Zach and Bradley and Ismail together on a yes side. They're going to be against Crystal and Celeste and Sancia. We're going to give each of those teams 10 minutes to confer with each other, decide what they're going to say, then they'll come together and we'll start the debate. Again, if there's someone gone, someone on one of these teams of 3 can maybe fill in for someone who's gone on a team of 2. But that's pretty much all you need to know to get set up. Find your partner, find your side of the debate, and start working on this green sheet along with the notes that you've already taken. All right, get started.